Hello, and thank you for giving us another opportunity to spend some time with you on Stairway to Health, brought to you by Health Experts Canada. We've got some great ideas, new information, and hopefully a few laughs for you today. Who knows? If you're not careful, you may learn something.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stairway to Health. This is your host, Frank Peary, along with...
I'm Marilyn Mitchell.
And today, I've got a very interesting question for you, Marilyn.
Okay.
Something came up this past week, and it sort of struck me with this question in mind. Why do we, as people, why do people wait until the very last minute to do something about their health? What I mean is, why do they wait until the doctor diagnoses them with something? Or why do they wait until they're in a horrible state of health before they make the decision to do something about it? Why not work on prevention?
That's an excellent question. Seriously, I don't know that there's an answer to that, but I can sort of suggest that we as humans wait to the last minute to do everything. I mean, how many times have you hit the snooze button when your alarm goes off? How many times are you sitting there having your coffee? You know you've got to get to work, but you've got a few more minutes, or, things like that. I mean, aren't we sort of generally programmed to put off doing something that we don't necessarily want to do till the very last minute?
It just amazes me. You're right in everything that you're saying. I guess it's true. We're all guilty of waiting to the last minute on certain things. But it amazes me because when somebody gets a diagnosis from their doctor that they're all of a sudden pre-diabetic, or they're at the early stages, excuse me, of diabetes, what all of a sudden they look at the doctor and say, I don't understand. Well, I don't understand that statement.
Okay, well, maybe though, I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Maybe this person had in their mind that they were actually trying to do the right thing. Maybe they thought they were eating healthy foods. Maybe they thought that those 12 steps a day they took was exercise. Maybe there's a misunderstanding.
That's fair. I think so. I mean, it's fair to suggest that maybe somebody doesn't realize that the decisions they're making. I mean, honestly, we're programmed a very certain way to believe certain things, right? We read certain things. The newspapers tell us something. The news media tells us something. The commercials are constantly telling us something. When you're in line at the checkout, the magazine covers are telling us something. I mean, there's always somebody else telling us what is or isn't okay with respect to our health. And I often find it interesting. It comes back to that whole concept we talk about quite often, that level of personal responsibility. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is I was in a very similar position, right? I was going along absolutely fabulously in my life at a time in my life when I thought nothing could take me down. And unfortunately, I was making a lot of poor decisions unknowingly. I was maybe seeking out things that I thought were going to comfort me in a way, or feeding my emotional state at the time, or whatever it may have been. And I didn't realize that it was all contributing to a downward spiral. And of course, by the time I hit that brick wall, that there was definitely something wrong. I mean, my weight had ballooned to 30 pounds heavier than I should have been. I was under incredible stress. I wasn't sleeping well. There was certainly issues with my heart rate, blood pressure, so on and so forth. So when I hit that wall, I think I was shocked by it. I mean, I definitely think I was in a state of shock, but I don't think it was difficult for me to realize, if I look back, what led me to that point. And I guess it was even me at that stage in my life. So it brings me to another question. Is it ever too late?
Well, it's never too late. Every morning when you open your eyes, you have a new opportunity for a new day and new decisions. And I think that's what we have to keep in mind. Every time we make a decision, we should really kind of be aware of the decision we're making. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes in this fast-paced world, we don't stop to think about what we're doing next. We're on automatic pilot. We do things, and I don't know about you, but I know that sometimes I'll be walking towards the fridge. I open up the door and see something in there, and I go to reach for it to have it, just leftover of something. And I'm thinking to myself, Marilyn, you don't need to have that, but I'm still doing it.
Right.
Like it's almost an unconscious thing. So sometimes waiting to the last moment isn't a conscious thought.
True.
It's something that when the doctor tells you you are diabetic, it scares you. It shocks you, like you said, into a realization. I'm not sure that that person chose to wait until that point to be that far out of control. I think it's just something that we gradually do like a snowball, just slowly going down the hill. And it's not to get to the bottom and you're this huge base of a snowman that you realize you've picked up a little snow,
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I certainly am not passing judgment. Like I said, I was in that position myself. And I guess, to the question of, is it ever too late? I don't think it is either. I don't think it's ever too late for somebody to make a change, right, toward a better state of optimal health and well-being. If they realize they're in a position they don't want to be in, at that point, it's probably in a person's best interest to do just as I did, just as I'm sure you've done in the past, and get some research under your belt. Look into things. Don't take anything for granted, and certainly don't take anything at face value in terms of opinion or suggestion. Do a little bit of research. Look for the support that you will need, because I think everybody, when they get to that state of shock, will need support to move forward in a positive direction. But I don't think it's ever too late for anyone.
No, it's not. And the other thing, which we've said time and time again, that when you get to that spot, that position in life, make sure that you make yourself number one. Make sure that you do your research, whatever you're going to do, and follow through, no matter how hard you may think it sounds at the time, or how defeatist your attitude might be. Like, I can't eat that many servings of vegetables in a day, and I can't drink that much water, and I can't find time to exercise. You've got to set your priorities.
Right. Make yourself the priority.
That's right. Yep.
Fair enough. It's at that point, I think it's justifiable that people get a little selfish, with their behaviors, with their thought patterns. And, to that end, mindset is really everything at that point.
Absolutely.
You really have to, flip the switch and change the direction of your mindset, the way you think about your life moving forward. I think it's very important. But I guess the moral of the lesson here is that ultimately people do wait till the last minute for a lot of things, but it's never too late. No matter how deep a hole you think you may be in, there is always a way out. It's so funny. That was the mantra that one of our clients used for getting himself out of a deep state, right?
Mhm.
And he's been successful in doing so, very successful. So there is always a way out. I think that's something that everybody should keep in mind.
And it's never too late to find it.
Nope, not at all. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Frank Peary.
And I'm Marilyn Mitchell. And until next time, remember, health equals wealth. So that's all the time we have today, but there's still so much more to talk about and learn. Head over to healthexpertscanada.com for more ideas on healthy living, and don't forget to like, download, and share this podcast with your friends, just for the health of it.